Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss virtual destructors in C++ and why forgetting to make a destructor virtual can cause serious bugs. Let's understand this with a simple example. So here is the example. We have a base class with a destructor which prints base destructor, and then we have a derived class inherited from base and it has its own destructor which prints derived destructor. Now in main we have a base class pointer which is holding the derived object, and then we are calling a delete ptr. Let's understand now what happens. In polymorphism, when deleting a derived object through a base pointer, first the derived destructor should run and then base destructor should run. This is the correct destruction order. Let's compile this program and run. If you observe the output carefully, base destructor printed. The derived destructor is never called. Why? Because the destructor in the base class is not virtual. So let's understand clearly without virtual destructor what's happening exactly. So here we have a base class pointer which is holding the derived object. When we do new derived, so our derived object will created on the heap. So now this ptr which lives in the stack is holding the our derived object heap address which is 0x100. One important line we need to remember: a derived object contains a base subobject inside it. Since ptr is of type base star, compiler performs static binding without virtual destructor. At a compile time, it decides to call the base destructor. So the derived part of the object is not properly destroyed. So this leads to the undefined behavior, especially if the derived class owns resources like dynamic allocated memory or file handles or sockets. Now, how do we fix this issue? So by simply adding virtual keyword in the base destructor. Let's say here I am just adding virtual keyword. Let's run this program again. See, now we have derived destructor and base destructor. This is the correct order. First derived is destroyed and then base is destroyed. So now let's understand what is happening internally. When the destructor is virtual, the compiler inserts a hidden pointer called vptr inside the object. This vptr points to a vtable. This vtable contains addresses of virtual functions and destructor. So now during delete ptr, since the destructor is virtual, it runtime checks the vptr. So then derived destructor will call. After that base destructor is called. This ensures correct destruction. So here one important thing is virtual destructor does not affect memory allocation. It only affects how the destructor is resolved. If a class is intended to be used polymorphically, its destructor must be virtual. Only in the polymorphic cases only the destructor must be virtual. A final thing, if your class is even having one virtual function, you almost always need a virtual destructor. I hope this explanation is clear. Keep this in mind, especially for interviews. If you need a video only for vtable and vpointers, please let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.